What's going on, guys? Aero here, and welcome back to another video. Now in today's video, I want to talk to you guys more about Xenoblade Chronicles 3, as this is my most anticipated game for the year, and honestly probably one of the games that I am the most excited about in a very long time. And so because of that, one of the most important things for me about this game is to make sure that I don't get spoiled. Now, I'm sure every other Xenoblade fan feels the same way as well. These games are so story driven and get really insane and mind blowing, and you definitely don't want to get that type of stuff spoiled for you. And even with the way that Nintendo has been showing this game, they've kind of really only just been showing the early game parts in terms of the trailers, so it definitely looks like they're keeping 80% of this game kind of just hidden from us, and that's probably for good reason. But now, from the time that I'm making this video, we are exactly 3 weeks away from Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and as we get closer, more and more information is just going to start to come out. And eventually, what's inevitably going to happen is somebody is going to get their hands on their game early, and because it's not officially given by Nintendo, there's not going to be an embargo for it, and they're just going to start to play the game and start spoiling a lot of information and a lot of the story and the secrets that are in this game. Now, this actually happened with Xenoblade 2 as well, where somebody on the Resetera forum actually got their hands on the game early, and because the Switch was so early into its life cycle at this time, we didn't actually have the proper tools for data mining and hacking games, so because of that, the person was pretty much just playing through the game and getting through it as fast as possible and uploading like screenshots and images about the information that we didn't know about. But now, because Nintendo Switch hacking has come a long way over the past couple of years, we can pretty much just get a ROM for any game, even if it's unreleased, and look through the files and pretty much find anything that's hidden in them. And because of this, when Xenoblade Chronicles 3 inevitably does leak, there's going to be a ton of people that are going to be looking through the files and just straight up uploading a whole bunch of the ending cutscenes and the last couple of cutscenes where I'm sure it's going to get really insane with the story, and that's definitely going to be the type of stuff that you want to avoid. And so that's why in this video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about the strategies and tips that you can do to avoid getting spoiled on this game. Now, before somebody mentions it in the comments, because I know it's going to happen, yes, the absolute best way to guarantee yourself to not get spoiled on Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is to just leave the internet. That is the absolute easiest way, and that is the way that you are guaranteed that you're not going to see a spoiler, because if you yourself are just not visible to anywhere a spoiler can be shown to you, then yes, that is absolutely the best way to avoid getting spoiled. And so if you're able to do that and just avoid social media and the internet in general, that's definitely going to be the safest option to ensure that you don't get the game spoiled for you. Just stay away from the internet for the next couple of weeks until you finally get your hands on the game. And I think that would definitely be the absolute easiest option to do. Besides the other things that I'm going to mention in this video, you can just stay at home, play some other video games that you already have, Xenoblade, you could play some Zelda, Smash Bros, Pokemon, Splatoon, whatever really. I mean, you could work on your backlog or something like that also. You could stay at home watching Netflix or anime or whatever. Like, you could just do anything else, but as long as you're away from the internet and not like looking at other stuff that could potentially give you information about the game, that is going to be the absolute easiest way to make sure that you don't get spoiled. Now, maybe some of you are also like me, where leaving the internet really isn't possible. Of course, you guys know I'm a YouTuber who talks a lot about Nintendo stuff. We talk about Pokemon and Xenoblade and Zelda and a lot of other things that are happening with Nintendo, and because of that, I can't pretty much just leave the internet for the next couple of weeks because I'm really excited for one game in particular. I still want to know kind of the things that are going on with Nintendo, and if something big kind of happens, so I can still make a video on it. And a lot of times other people will tag me on Twitter and say like, Aero, you should talk about this, I want to hear your thoughts on this, make a video on this. Sometimes I'll just be looking through YouTube and seeing what other Nintendo news YouTubers are saying, and sometimes I'll be getting ideas for other videos through that. So because of that, I can't pretty much just leave the internet for the next couple of weeks, but there are going to be extra steps that I can take to avoid getting spoiled, and that's what I'm going to be talking to you guys about in this video. Now, I'm mainly going to be covering the 3 platforms that I use the most and the steps that you can take to avoid getting spoiled on them, being of course YouTube, Twitter, and Discord. So one of the ways that people always get spoiled on YouTube is through the thumbnails that people see. So if we take a look at YouTube thumbnails, there's always so many of these brightly colored thumbnails, and a lot of times what's going to happen is the game is going to leak, and even if you're not subbed to a channel, in your recommended, if you watch Xenoblade videos, you're going to start to see like recommended stuff of saying like, you know, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 final boss, or Xenoblade Chronicles 3 this person's true form, and they're going to have images of those spoilers. So the thumbnails can be a really big spoiler for a lot of people, and they can definitely ruin a lot of things if you especially end up seeing something that you aren't supposed to. And so because of that, we actually have a very nice Google Chrome extension that can help us disable YouTube thumbnails. And so I'll have a link to this in the description if you guys want to get it for yourself. you can see right here, you just click add to Chrome right here, then click add extension, and doing this will actually disable all the thumbnails that you see on YouTube. So now if we go back to this page and refresh it, you're going to see right here that all of the thumbnails are now disappeared. And because of that, we're not going to see images now of any potential spoilers or anything that could be uploaded like that. Of course, we still do have a title, which is still kind of a little unfortunate, but we do have to have some kind of way of kind of seeing exactly what the video is about. But because of this, at least, you're not going to see like the actual images and know what things are going to look like if they are really big spoils. Now for Twitter, there's actually a lot more things that you need to do to ensure that you don't get spoiled. If I'm being honest with you guys, I feel like the easiest way is to just make sure that you stay away from Twitter. Like if you don't go on Twitter, that's the easiest way to make sure you don't get spoiled. But I will be showing you guys how you can avoid it. So if you go here to like topics, you can actually see all the topics that you're following. Now there is a Xenoblade one right here, and I am following that. So this will make sure that you'll see posts that even from people that you're not following. And if somebody just decides to upload spoilers or tweet about spoilers, you will see them pop up on your timeline. So definitely unfollow from this one temporarily if you are following the Xenoblade Chronicles topic. Also within communities, there's also this big giant Xenoblade Chronicles 3 community and just the Xenoblade Chronicles community in general. Now, I also recommend leaving this if you're a part of this. I'm going to be leaving this as well. The big reason for this is because even if there's nice people inside of here that are not going to be spoiling, eventually what I feel like is going to happen is there's going to be some salty Nintendo fans and just bad people in general who are going to be trying to raid the community and spoil theirs. So you don't want to get spoiled that way, just seeing stuff that gets posted in there appearing on your timeline. Now, the really big way to avoid getting spoiled on Twitter is using muted words. And for that, we're going to have to go over here into our settings, and you're going to go into your settings here, click on your privacy, and then click on mute and block. And then if we go here to muted words, you can actually add a list of a whole bunch of words to mute so that any tweet that uses these words, you're not going to see them appear on your timeline at all. And it'll give you like a little thing that says this has a word that you muted. That way you don't have to see the tweet. You won't see anybody talking about it. But the thing here is that this process is a little tedious. You're going to have to click add here and add every single word manually by yourself. And this can be very time consuming depending on which type of spoilers you want to avoid. Like if you want to avoid just Xenoblade 3 spoils, if you want to avoid literally anything about this game, like there can be a lot of things that you need to do. So that's why I said like the easiest way is to just avoid going on Twitter. But if you do want to do this and you're wondering like what are some words that I should mute, luckily for you, I actually have a Google Doc that I will link here in the description that has every single possible word that I recommend muting if you want to stay away from spoilers on Twitter. Now, you don't have to do all of these, but these are definitely the ones that I'm going to be doing to stay away from them. You can definitely look through this list and decide for yourself on which ones you think are worth muting, but if you definitely want to avoid as many spoilers as possible, I would recommend kind of spoilering as many of these as you can. Now for Discord actually has its own spoiler tagging feature to blur out words and even images, but sometimes people will still upload images like this where you can see here it's just the image uploaded, and there's even an extra step that you can take to avoid getting spoiled this way, so even if people forget to like spoiler tag or anything like that, you still won't have to see the images. So here we can see here some of the people in my Discord server helped out with some images right here. So all we have to do now is just go into our user settings, and then if we click here to text and images and uncheck here where it says posted as links, uncheck image descriptions, upload it immediately to Discord, and even embeds for like YouTube and stuff, doing this will actually disable all of the images that you see. So that way you won't have to worry about seeing these types of images, and it really helps you out to make sure that you don't get spoiled. But yeah, there you go guys, those are pretty much all the strategies that you can take to avoid getting spoiled on Xenoblade 3 through these social media platforms. Of course, like I said earlier, the easiest way to ensure that you don't get spoiled at all is to just stay away from the internet if that's possible. I mean, even these ways, I mean, these are precautions and things that you can take, but of course, they're not guaranteed. Stuff can still kind of slip through and you could still potentially end up getting spoiled. So honestly, the easiest way is to just avoid the internet if that's possible. But if you are going to be trying these other things, then I do hope that they help you. If you guys enjoyed this video, then definitely be sure to click that like button and also comment down below and let me know what you guys are going to be doing to avoid the Xenoblade 3 spoilers. Are you going to be staying away from the internet? Are you going to try to mute stuff on Twitter? Avoid the thumbnails on YouTube? What are you guys going to be doing? Definitely be sure to comment down below and let me know. If you're new to this channel, then please be sure to subscribe. I'm definitely going to have some more Xenoblade content in the future, so definitely be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that. Click on that bell to become a part of the notification squad. Go follow me on Twitter at Aero so you can be featured in videos, and also join my Discord server as well. We've got a bunch of people in there who are always talking about Pokemon and Smash Bros. And Nintendo, so definitely be sure to join that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching.